Lance, are you getting any closer to the damaged area?
Hey, I'm in the neighborhood walking right now. I just talked to a gentleman. What's your name?
Tully Dozier.
Tully. He was at this school. What's the name of the school, my friend?
Plaza Towers.
That's Plaza Towers. We are probably 200 yards away. He says he's been pulling out children, third graders. They're in the classroom. I see a lot of people that are huddled outside the building. Helicopters are flying in. There's fire and police officers doing door-to-door searches. It is absolute chaos down here. Thank you, my friend. Be safe. We appreciate you. It is, I've never seen anything like this in my 18 years covering tornadoes here in Oklahoma City. This is, without question, the most horrific I've ever seen.
Okay,
right, Lance.
Listen, we need to get this information. We understand what you're looking at and how horrific it is, but you are telling us that you have confirmed that children were in the Plaza Tower Elementary School, that the gentleman you were just talking to was pulling out third graders. Is that correct?
That is correct. I'm racing over there as quickly as I can.
All right.
And they did a lot of people trying to help.
You heard Lance West as he approached Plaza Towers Elementary School. Let's join him again on the phone. Lance, I know this is a very emotional, devastating scene that you're looking at.
Yeah, it certainly is. We are here just 5 feet away from the school right now. What was apparently the gymnasium, there are firefighters and other emergency personnel doing their best to save. Those are classrooms right there? Okay, those are classrooms and hallways, I'm told. I stand corrected from some of the parents out here waiting to get word. It is our understanding right now that there are at least 15 children trapped under this debris.
Oh, my gosh.
There were 75 kids in the classroom. Okay, I'm telling you, the number has just been upgraded. 75 kids were in that hallway and classroom when this tornado hit. Firefighters are standing on what is essentially a large pile of debris, trying to find these kids that are hopefully still alive.
Lance, you've been bringing us reports all afternoon from Plaza Towers Elementary. First time we've gotten to see you. Tell us what's going on now.
We're right here in the neighborhood. Take a look. You can see the devastation behind me. This is a family here, still sort of looking through the debris to see if they can find anything salvageable. And take a look at this. This was their storm shelter. The handle here has been bent by this monster storm. There were 15 people inside here taking refuge when that tornado passed. They all survived, thankfully. And right now there is a massive search and rescue operation going on. I want you to pan over that way if you wouldn't mind, Joe. This is Park Towers Elementary School. To give you a perspective, we're just about 200 yards from there. There are cars on top of the roof of this school. Everything within a mile radius has just been decimated. We can tell you that outside the school, I counted 9 headboards with neck braces, which is a good sign that perhaps they are finding some victims that they're going to bring out alive. We also heard cries for help from 2 homes across the street, and there are volunteers by the hundreds here lifting debris, trying to get to those victims. There's a bobcat that's been pulled in right now. They are trying to remove the heavier debris so they can get to someone at the bottom of that rubble who has been screaming for help for the past 20 or 30 minutes. It is really just chaos out here as folks come in and see the damage for the first time. There are emergency vehicles everywhere. They are commandeering pickup trucks to use as makeshift ambulances to get the victims to nearby hospitals. Not seen them pull any victims or survivors from the school just yet. We are hopeful that there is a miracle and that they pull some kids and teachers from the rubble here in the next few minutes. Again, 9 backboards at a triage center set up right outside the school. They've cordoned off the area, and they are in the process to get to these people who may still be trapped and alive under that debris. Guys?
Well, Lance, we were being given information and other things. We were a little bit distracted while you were talking. Did you say they heard voices from inside the school rubble, or was that a house in the neighborhood? Might not be able to hear us. He's having. I saw he was having.
They heard cries for help from 2 houses right across the street, where a bunch of volunteers have gone to remove the debris. I have no word of any voices heard from the elementary school, other than that I saw some rescue personnel. It appeared that they were huddled down over the debris and talking to someone. That's a good sign. And again, there are 9 backboards outside in that triage center, which looks like they're about to get some victims out and transport them to a nearby hospital.
All right, Lance, thank you very much. We appreciate your work, brother, and we'll be checking back with you. Let's go to Lance West. We need to go to him quickly now on the ground. He is near the school and it looks like by an IMSA truck. Lance?
Yeah, guys, I just ran down there to the school to talk to emergency personnel, and I've been told by some very reliable sources here on the scene that this is no longer a search and rescue operation. It's now a recovery mission. It is my understanding that there are up to 24 children, victims, trapped at the bottom of that school right now. This is Eagle Drive right here. We understand there could be as many as a half dozen more fatalities on this street alone in this area. The emergency personnel have backed out of the school. They're pulling in more vehicles. They're backing people away. And I understand they're going to start pulling these tiny victims out of the rubble here shortly.
It's too difficult, Lance. I'm so sorry.
Lance, hang in there. Hang in there, my friend. You've given us the information, and we appreciate that. And it is so hard when you're there and you see it, and you see the parents waiting and hoping, and then hearing news like that. 24 little ones, and there are now fatalities there. Lance
was saying earlier that he believed from the information he was receiving that they were primarily third graders who may have been in a hall clinging to the walls.
Let's go back out to our man on the ground, one of many, Lance West, who of course was keeping us updated on the tragedy that was going on and is still ongoing for many families there in the Moore area at Plaza Towers.
Good evening, Kevin and Linda. The feeling here has gone from that gut-wrenching heartache several hours ago to sort of a numbness right now. Folks here are rolling up their sleeves and getting to work. We're seeing a lot of folks with suitcases and sleeping bags, pillowcases, things like that, stuffing any personal belongings they can salvage and then heading back out of here. They've probably got just maybe 20 or 30 more minutes of daylight before they probably cordon off the area and kick most people out. We don't want to see any loitering or things like that. Hopefully that's not going to happen. We have been here all day long in front of this elementary school. In fact, we followed an EMSA ambulance in, lights and sirens flashing. So we arrived here just as the emergency personnel were coming in. And let me just tell you, as a reporter, I've never seen anything like what I saw here this afternoon. We may have some video. We can show that to you, what we saw when we arrived here. There were just dozens of people on the school, and I say on it because it's completely flat and it's just a big pile of rubble. And essentially they were doing everything they could, frantically searching for any survivors in that debris. That is the elementary school, and it was our understanding that some of the older kids, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, had been evacuated and taken to a church down the street. But there were some other classes that were hunkered down inside, kind of in a safe room in a hallway, and unfortunately, with this powerful tornado that came through this afternoon, the school was not able to stand up to those forces of nature. It was absolutely destructive. When we got here, and we have not seen any since, when we arrived, we saw a little boy who was rescued along with one school teacher. Those are the only 2 survivors we saw pulled from the debris, and that was earlier today. A little Asian American boy, probably 8 or 9 years old, and a teacher. She was on a stretcher, and she was pulled out of here, taken away in a 4-wheel Jeep. Some Good Samaritans who whisked her away to a nearby hospital. I can tell you, though, there are lots of stories of heroics out here. They may not have found a lot of victims alive, but not for a lack of looking. In fact, I talked to one school teacher and another volunteer. Here's what they had to say about search efforts earlier today.
I was on top of 6 kids.
On top of 6 children?
I was lying on top of them.
And they're all okay?
All of mine are okay.
They pulled a little boy out. Looked like he was probably about a 2nd or 3rd grader. Bumps and scrapes. Didn't look too worse for the wear. And then an adult that they pulled out who just had some bumps and bruises and was pretty shaken up. But that's all I've seen come out at this point.
And you did hear from that school teacher. All I know is that her name is Rhonda. She teaches 6th grade students. She hunkered down in a bathroom with a half dozen kids. As you heard, she got on top of them. They all got out alive. Certainly nothing short of a heroic effort on her part. And a lot of the other kids, parents and teachers, again, at a church, a staging area on the other side of all this debris. We've not been able to wind down there. Right now it is a recovery effort. They've got jackhammers going. They brought the lights in, and one official out here told me that they're going to search as long as they can to make sure they get everybody out tonight.
And Lance, just to update the grim figures from there, 7 little ones are confirmed, 20 to 30 others may be still in there, but they believe they have perished in there, those that are still there.
Yeah, that's correct. We have confirmation of 7 children. They were found in the bottom of the school. They unfortunately drowned. The school filled up with water, and there were 20 to 30 kids that they could not reach because the debris obviously was so thick. They're using jackhammers to get to that lower level of the school. We do know, I believe they're getting closer because about 15 minutes ago I saw that they were heaving small desks from that pile of debris one at a time, which leads me to believe that they've reached the classroom where those kids may have been taking refuge from the tornado.
All right,
Lance, let me ask you this. You've done an incredible job of reporting there from the scene. There's another elementary school, Briarwood, that John Welsh is showing us from the air that has a similar operation going on there. Have you heard any reports of what may be going on at Briarwood?
I'm sorry, Linda, we haven't heard anything from that school over there. It appears from our location that most of the search and recovery efforts are right here, but again, that's probably a mile or two in that direction. And unfortunately, with all the debris and the danger to get that way, we've not been able to wind and weave our way over there, but we'll do what we can to get more information for you. But right now, information is very limited. Wait, I'm hearing, what's that?
That school's been hit worse.
Okay, I'm hearing from some homeowners here. They say that school has been hit worse than this, but we don't know as far as casualties in that school. And again, I can't speak from a bird's eye view. I've not seen it, but from what I'm hearing out here, it was also in the direct path of this tornado.
Lance West has been doing a wonderful job of reporting on a very emotional and horrific situation in Moore, Oklahoma, as the efforts continue to find at least 24 children who still may be inside an elementary school that was destroyed in Moore. Lance?
Well, I'm a reporter, but I'm also human, and I bring you this news with a heavy heart. The Midwest City Fire Department Search and Rescue pulled out their entire team, swollen, tear-filled eyes. There don't appear to be any more survivors in that school. I was told by an official about 5 minutes ago that they have recovered 7 children. They were at the bottom of the school in a pool of water. They all drowned. And I'm told that anywhere between 20 and 30 more kids may still be inside. They've got jackhammers breaking through concrete, trying to reach the bodies, but it does not appear that there are any survivors inside the school. And again, it is with a heavy heart that I bring you this news. Also, there was a search effort at a couple of houses down behind me, about a quarter mile. They have abandoned those searches as well. The cries for help have stopped about 15 minutes ago. So I would suspect that the casualty number is going to climb throughout the evening, and we probably have another hour, maybe hour and a half of sunlight. So they're doing everything they can to put an end to an extremely difficult situation out here tonight.
It's excruciating for everybody involved, and especially the parents. Lance, have they moved the parents to some central location so that they can tell them what has happened or prepare them for what might be the worst news they're ever going to receive?
Yes, there is a staging area at a church about a mile to our south. That's where a lot of the kids and the parents have congregated. I suspect that there are emergency personnel delivering the news. There were some parents out here earlier just screaming hysterical, as you might expect. They have since been taken away to another area. And I understand that there's going to be a news conference, I believe at 7:30 tonight at Moore City Hall. They'll deliver more of the facts and figures as to what's happened out here today. But again, we do know 7 children, the bodies have been found. They drowned in the bottom of the school, and they're still looking for 20 to 30 more tonight.
Lance, when you say Midwest City Search and Rescue pulled back, have they left the scene, or are they simply, what we're seeing right now, I know that you can't see it, is a live picture of the scene. We're seeing the yellow tape that they put up around the school. We're seeing a long line of yellow uniformed firefighters and rescue personnel who seem to be moving debris away piece by piece. Now there appear, if I'm counting them right, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 2 dozen at the most on the scene. Will that effort just continue throughout the evening?
I suspect so. It's almost sort of a convoy, assembly line, if you will, as they remove that debris down the line to try to reach the victims at the bottom of the rubble. Midwest City, one of the many agencies out here donating their search and rescue efforts to this cause, but they have pulled out their team. Still a lot of others out here. Newcastle Fire and Rescue has just pulled up. I see Midwest City Ambulance. EMSA is here, obviously. Oklahoma City, Moore, just jurisdictions all over the metro here trying to lend a hand.
All right, Lance, we appreciate your report very much. We just hate what you had to say. ghastly, ghastly report coming from that school.